just feel like, if you attend a game and your team gets destroyed, it just might be
I
your
had to
fault.
leave. I had to leave. It got so
See,
bad.
see,
It got
see,
so bad.
see, and
So
they got
And then
destroyed.
I got tickets from my company, and they supposed to put $25 on the ticket for us to get food and stuff. I got my mama there, my little nephew. Go to get the food, and the system is down. They can't do it. Right? You gotta pay. So,
And then he brought the rain in.
but then I was
so
like, I hope they use. No, I didn't say they don't use
so Super Dave is in the building.
Other than that,
Yeah, I like that.
welcome back, Super Dave.
So,
Lady Antoinette is not happy to see you right now.
oh,
I'm upset with you. What I do? You made them lose, and then you brought the storm. So.
well, I apologize. Both of those things I had no control over. But
And then CP3 is upset with
I
you.
feel, I feel getting
No,
blamed.
you was blaming him too. He said that you were the cause of his premium going down.
I
So
probably was. Yeah, I'm putting the blame on
Okay, now do you have a question for
now
Miss Neal?
I do. Yeah. So you're a
What up?
songstress. Um. So tell us, as a songstress in the DMV area, tell us about, in general, how you experienced this culture and how that has treated you, the DMV scene, as a young woman.
Oh, I love PC. That's really all I know. So for me, I'm an entertainer. I'm a performer, so I never had a problem going out. And I just felt like when I first started as a female, if I'm going to see a show, like how is the other female on the stage making me feel? So I just like to have fun. So I would just go out and say I'm gonna have fun, and they enjoyed it. They liked that. So I think with DC culture, especially now, it's probably one of the best cities for live entertainment, and it's a lot of people that come out and support local like artists, businesses. So I didn't really have like a sour experience. Um, and then maybe at the beginning I had a little band stuff like at the beginning, and I had to tell my management at the time like I don't care about being the best band. I just want to be the best me. Now at that time, if people feel like, oh, she's got the best band, I was just like, and I kept saying to them and different musicians that we're all friends. I was like, we're a city, so we actually should be together
Right.
and use this energy when you go somewhere else. But here we should be like, they dope, you dope, this person. So that's how my energy has always been. Just like, okay, it don't matter if I'm closing the show or not. I'm still gonna be like, dang, I take something from everybody. Like, okay, I really like what this person did this. So far, so good. I haven't had too many bad experiences, and if I was nervous or if somebody was looking at me weird, by the time I was done with them, like, come on, and only one show was in Water.
Oh boy.
Wakanda.
That was probably the worst show I ever had as far as crowd participation. I never had that happen before. And the women didn't want to get up. And when I did the go, like, put your one leg up, I was like, they gonna sit down and put their leg. I was like, this is not.
That's a different culture.
I see. So I did. That was like, I did two things I ordered. One time with the Swiss band, and I guess they had their following come, so it was different. But the other one, I was just like, yeah, so I didn't know, but they still was enjoying it. But I was like, I was missing the DC culture, which is like, get up, let's go, like we're dancing, we're family, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, that's good because not all artists in this area experience that. So,
yeah.
that's
CP3. You have a question.
Being in the R&B uh, genre, there's been a lot of crossover into the rap world. I know you classify yourself as a. Well, first of all, let me ask you what classifies you as a songstress. I never knew the difference between a songstress and a regular artist.
Well, one, I didn't call myself that.
Oh, well, excuse me.
I did.
Oh,
So,
he did. So
he
I,
put a nice spin on it.
I turned around and said,
yeah.
too,
So
but
I want
yeah.
to know what it meant. I never knew.
But
what
I
it
can
meant.
answer that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the person that called me a
Okay.
songstress, you know.
Yes, sir. Can I get that? I never knew what that meant.
So a songstress makes a song come alive and evokes feeling. Then you just have people who just sing and they just sing in words.
But then you
But
also have people that sign.
Yeah,
yeah,
see, I was gonna say,
so
I would be an
so
appropriate.
for like a songstress, like when I listen to her song, I visually see the story. So and that's just off the words and the feeling how she sang. So that's
She
why I said
owns the song.
yes.
That's what.
You need to spend a minute. I appreciate that, my brother.
I learned something new.
I did too.
But you know the difference between singing and singing.
I knew it not necessarily because I wanted to know it. I just sing because I sing, but I don't have that personality like I sang, y'all. Because when people say I sang down, I'm like, okay, do it then. So I always go in like, you might like it, you might not. And then people be like, she sang. I'm like, that's what they say. Because I feel like music and artistry is an interpretation. Different people interpret something different. Some people like it, some people don't. I only had one experience of hearing one of my other bass players be like, somebody said you couldn't sing, and I never forgot that day. I was like,
Yeah, that's
24. I was like, whoo!
Yeah.
Can I speak to the person? I've never heard that before.
Tell me what I did wrong. You know.
I was like, wow, was it something? So I
That's
did forget to say that to your question. That was one of the things that I was learning was being cool with what I do because I would hear like different things that singers and stuff would do. And you have some people that go to shows to hear certain things. They want certain things. So I would just like, whatever is my audience, that'll be what it is. And not try to create like, oh, I want to be like that person. I would just say that's dope. But that did hurt my little feelings. I was like, what? They said, can I meet them? Like, I really wanted to know what the person was thinking. Like,
Right.
what happened. So I never really go in and I would say like, hey, yeah, I sang y'all. Like, because somebody could feel like, no, you okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to me, like he said, Raheem said, it's just like a feeling for me. Like, okay, I'm listening to the song, I'm feeling the song, and then that's my interpretation of singing. And in my life, other than that one person, most people be like, yeah, I loved it. So I was like, okay,
Good answer.
yeah.
Back to me, get to the question I was about to.
Go ahead.
Um, have you ever ventured into the crossover with rap and R&B? Have you ever ventured into that? Because I haven't heard any of your music. We always hear it when the artist comes on, so I'm not sure what you actually done. Have you done any crossover into the rap game with your R&B?
Oh yeah, if I'm on stage, I'm gonna do it all. If I'm on stage, I don't rap because the song calls for me to rap. But it's like it has to be like lights, camera, action. I haven't done it on like recording yet, but one of the writers that writes for me, his name is Rico Jerome, and he's one of the ones that he has these songs like you really can do it because you do it on stage when you start getting crazy and you start rapping. But like when Dave was asking me yesterday doing video, can you rap the rapper's part? I was like, nah, because I'm not in that space. But it's definitely something. I actually, even though I've been called a songstress today, most of the time I'm listening to rap. Like I think I don't know. I be thinking of somebody else when I'm driving or whatnot. But I love rap music and I love crossover. I just like it all. It's kind of like whatever the feeling is. So for me, this particular song, Better, this was the first time I literally written and recorded a full song. So I wouldn't consider myself a recording artist yet. I'm like a live artist, actually to sing live or with some music with the band. So, because actually I didn't really like hearing myself on recording because I would start to go into be like, oh, I don't like this, I should do this, just real technical. And so D'Amico started to help write the song. He was like, no, I want you to also show that other side because we've seen your followers has seen your live side. We know you can do a ballad, but you also can do this. So that's something that I'm getting into. So CP3. Okay, I didn't want to say CP the wrong name. But, so that's something I'm getting into. But I'm excited about like all of it. like a rapper writing a rap for me and trying it. And I love that stuff. I love artists that just do what, like they don't stay in a box and they just like, well, that album I was this because that's what I was going through and now I'm doing this. So my goal for this project that I'm working on now is to tackle each side of me because it's different sides that I have. So I literally have my live person, and so with my recording, I'm trying to pretty much bring out the other vulnerability of things that I've went through because Melissa V Neal on stage is like, I'm full show mode. Like I'm like, okay, it's lights, camera, I'm trying to be on stage, but that's not really just one part of me. So I wanted my following and people that's been wanting to know, like, what else? You always smiling. So I was like, well, yeah, but all of these things have happened in my life, and I was finally ready to talk about it.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn.
Oh my God, I feel so happy. Nah, it's one of those shows. I need another drink. What is your Mount Rushmore of music?
Say that one more time.
What is your Mount Rushmore of music?
What do you mean by that?
Who's your top five, dead or alive? Right.
Man, I'm tired of people asking me this question. No, I'm not tired, but it's too hard for me to answer that question.
I know.
But I'm going to try today. Okay. Because last time Dave asked me that question, I was like, hey.
He was trying to prepare you for this.
Hey, top five dead or alive? Man, definitely Prince.
Are you sure? Because, are you sure? Are you sure?
I know I messed up 1999 yesterday. I said 1989. I said the year I was born. Okay. All right, Prince. Yeah. Girl, I messed up. But
Man,
this was the thing with Prince.
The look on Dee's face yesterday.
It's like, how did you forget that? I was like, hey.
So you was in trouble.
That
for
was
that.
right.
Yeah.
We just talking
He was
about
like, what? No. But honestly, you guys, I didn't get into Prince until adulthood. Okay? Because growing up, and Michael Jackson is one of mine, but growing up, I didn't really, my mom talked about him, but I didn't really know. But when I first started discovering, I was like, this is insane. So I just loved his performance because I like performers. So that was just amazing. I already said Michael Jackson.
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive? Good God. Too much. Oh, you could have said dead or alive.
Okay.
That made it.
Is that what you need to do?
Yes. Well, no. Chaka Khan, probably.
I feel like
because
I felt that you were gonna say that next.
yeah, because like her music, I just connect with it. Her showman, like just everything about her whole look. I was like, oh, I love her.
And she's a performer.
She's a performer. Let's see, who's here now? Who's here now? What you say, P? There's three? Yeah, keep listening to him. Is it the ones you always say? Is it the ones?
Counting down for you.
Is it the ones? And see, on a music level, like I love Brandy, and I love Jasmine Sullivan, like studio. It's insane. Yeah. I mean, but I want to do B in there because I absolutely love Beyonce.
She's a performer.
She's like, so that's why I have two parts because I have my people that's like performing because James Brown is one of them. Like I want to really do. I'm going to do it, y'all, because I already can do the split in him. I just need to figure out how to do it with the mic and I want to do that. I want to do the whole shebang like a show. Yes.
Yeah.
That was amazing, like amazing. So I feel like when you're out there, just the thing of thinking that people are coming to see you, that's just so much to be thankful for. So I look at it like I'm gonna get them a show because they're coming. So it's the thing of realizing that nobody gotta come out and see you.
Is she the first person to sing James Brown on here?
Yes. And honestly, I've never heard anyone else say Beyonce either.
Really? Well,
But we have a lot of hip hop artists.
oh, okay. And I got hip hop people I like too. I mean, that's
You,
But he was asking about R&B, so.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, R&B.
you can't be rapping no gangster shit talking about Beyonce is one of my favorite artists. I'm gonna look at you for it.
And
Right, and that's true.
that's
But
what
I
you think.
disagree. I
But they say
disagree.
her husband.
I only disagree because I feel like when you're an artist, you kind of like dabble. You like everything. Like
I know.
play
I'm
me
just.
some Evanescence, I'll be like, yes, I like that too. I like that. Like if I feel like the person is reaching their peak of whatever they're singing about or rapping, I like it. So it's like okay. So all of them I named amazing, and I always put like Mariah and Whitney. Because I didn't even realize that I loved Mariah Carey until one day I was looking through my stuff and I was like, dang, like I got all those songs.
Yeah.
Like I listen to her all the time.
Mariah's range is like
It's
no
crazy. So I
She alright.
other. Her range is like no other. You can't say that.
you know what though?
No.
It is people. Some people that it's for the interpretation, but people say Mariah's okay. But
Yeah.
I look at it from the aspect of writing, her
Yeah,
songs,
she's a
how many
writer.
hits she got. She tight.
And she composes.
And she right, she do the whole thing. So some people don't. They rather have a powerhouse voice. Some people you do that, you J Hud, they say you hollering. So that's why I said it depends on the person. But for me, as long as they are hitting whatever they were trying to do, like Mary J. Blige, I like it. Yeah.
All right, Lady Internet, what you got? What you got?
So, what I was going to ask you, I'm not going to ask you, but I do want you to think about it.
Okay.
Because I'm it's pressure. Because you based off of the top five. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, but I'm not going to push you to answer this question. I got a different one for you. What I wanted to ask you was, is there any particular artist or group that had like a major influence on you and how you perform? I know you said you wanted to do the James Brown and like you like the way Prince performs, but because I'm getting when you said Shaka Khan, I literally said that in my head first before you said it, and I was like, oh dang, she really said it because I'm getting that vibe.
Probably unknowingly, because I don't even know what my mom listened to. I just remember the first time I hit the stage. The guys that were playing, they were very experienced, and they were saying, "Well, nobody can teach you yourself on
Right,
stage.
right.
Nobody gonna be able to teach you that." And I was like, "Huh?" And I was nervous, standing there all still and all of that. And my best friend was like, "You don't even really be stiff. Like, what's going on?" I was like, "Well, I'm nervous." So she was definitely one of them because I just started watching all these videos, and I was like, you just have to be free. Like, don't care if you feel like you look dumb or whatever. Like, just do it. Yeah, so she's definitely one of them. And people started telling me that later, especially when I had the red hair, because see, it's snatched right there. When I had that hair, and I'm like going all crazy. And I had to like that though, because at first I would hear like the Brandy, because I grew up with Brandy. So the studio, like the layering and all of that, I was like, I want to do that. And so, but when I got out there and went live, I remember my piano player at the time would be like, "You always want Tina Turner everything," and I was like, "Is that shade over?" He was like, "No, it's cool." But when I first heard it, I didn't like it. I was like, I don't like that. But I had to grow to like it, and then when I started listening to her, because I grew up on heavy gospel, and my mama was like, "No, you ain't going here. You're not doing this. You ain't listening to this." And then later, she's like, "Oh, that was my girl shout." I was like, "Brent, what? When?" All I heard was "No weapon formed against me."
It is happening.
That was it.
When did you listen to these people, Mom?
Man. So I didn't know that she was into that. So I really learned, and I'm still learning music like now. When I got a little older and was able to start listening to other stuff, then I just started to explore. So I'm not really an artist that have all these singers and people that I listened to from childhood up. I didn't listen to a lot of people from childhood up. It was like you go in the church, you go do your song, and you gonna come home, whatever, and that's it. So I did. She let me listen to Brandy, and then Destiny Child. She was like, "Them girls are grown." So I would like sneak in, listen to them. But she was cool with Brandy for some reason. So that was
Brandy had the good girl.
Yeah, she was cool.
Yeah.
But that was the biggest. What did you say, Dave? Yeah, like he was cool.
Yeah.
So I'm really still learning that and seeing Shaka and being like, man, she's tight, Yeah, like okay, but I had to get comfortable with being bad. Like, oh, that's cool, do that, do you? Because my family thought it wasn't having it. They would be like the first couple of shows, my mother was like, you decided to wear that, out and some man, women coming what they mean. But like I told Dave yesterday, when people talk to me, I still take the criticism. And I thought about it. I said, well, Mom, you know what? You're absolutely right. I should wear something more so a female would think it's cute. A guy would say it's sexy, but the female's not going to be insulted. Like, okay, you wearing this out. I'm coming to support you.
Right.
What's this? So after one show, my mom kind of had it with me. I was at the conversation. I had the tents out. I had to learn you had to have one or the other. Okay, so I had the tents out. I had the long slit up the side. I had the side out. You couldn't tell me though. I was like, yes,
And she was.
And when she showed up, she said, if I knew that you had this on, I would have went back home. But she was right. That was the one show I couldn't even perform because I was like, what's going on? And she told me, she was like, don't make yourself feel like you have to do that on stage. Just do you, So she wasn't mean, like, but she was giving me some real advice. So and you looked at her when I said that. What was the
because I was like, oh.
This is the way she said it.
I know that type. You know what I mean? Like we've all had those. In our family. The older mama, aunties, grandmamas that you can't. Right, you can't do both.
Can't do both, and guess what? So I was gonna tell Raheem now. I am Melissa V Neal on my stage, but I'm Melissa V Wissy now. And the thing is, I be trying to, I be trying to make sure I keep that. But the other thing was, people put me in a box of like, okay, you a mother, you're married. Okay, great. But I'm a performer, and he do that before. And he's like, you need to still be performing. So when I first started stepping out after having Melody and kind of being more comfortable again with myself, I got it from both sides. Like, what's going on? What's going on? Aren't you cooking a hot meal? Like, I was like, what? And what made me keep going was the kids too, because my oldest and my 4-year-old at the time, he was younger, but he was just like, Mommy, I remember you performing and stuff. Like, I want you to be doing that. What are you doing? But at first I was trying to just do the, regular stuff. Like, okay. And I would say to everybody listening that whatever your dream or goal is, to tap into it, even if you're not making money off of it. You have to work on what your passion is, because that's what makes you feel good. So I am health and wellness too, but that's what makes you feel good. So I'm glad you guys had this today.
Which means she will not be taking any type of liquor drink.
Yeah, I don't drink. But the drinking was more so before any fitness thing.
Don't worry, we'll drink enough for you.
Well, I'm glad I'm bringing it up, because sometimes when I tell people that, they be like, I'm like, I tell you, you can't drink. I'm on my body. Right. But it was more so with my dad. My father passed of heart disease. He was a very heavy drinker.
Yeah.
So at a young age, I remember that. So when I turned 21, not only was I pregnant, so I couldn't drink anyway. I was just like, okay, I'm already pregnant. This is what a year I would have been able to drink. And I was just like, I'm good. And I never wanted it. And trust me, I'm cool right here. But I'm so crazy. I don't get it.
You don't need that.
No, I probably, because it's times when we're out and partying and people be like, she's sober. I swear, like she is. You know, she's sober. So it's been people that was like, I would love to get you drunk to see how crazy you
You're
feel.
gonna be calm.
I would probably be the opposite. Right. So
You'll be real chill and calm.
he making a face because the joke is okay. Because since this is off the record. The joke is, well, I mean, he said, he was like, we don't, it's not like you gotta be in this box on this show. Like some people say the show's about helping girls.
Oh no,
We
no.
it's about
You
helping
talk about
girls.
everything.
And I'm like, Demetrius, our 4-year-old. So we went to this baby shower my cousin had, and I forgot the name of what was the name of the alcohol, the beverage? It was some type of pink something.
Oh,
Whatever it was.
I think it was Pinky, something like that.
Yeah, something. Whatever it was like in a cute little bottle and stuff. And we left, we was feeling a little good or whatever. So usually I don't try nothing. So that day is the only time he was like, just try this. Like it was a small bottle, y'all. I'm
Like
telling
an
you.
airplane bottle.
Airplane
It's
bottle.
kinky. I've seen a lot of that.
And so I was like, okay, I'll try a little something. And like I told you, I was like, see what I'm saying? Nah, because you see, Demetrius snuck in. Nah, so, hey, I don't know what happened. But all I know, a few couple of weeks later, I was like, I'm pregnant and I'm mad as hell. I never forgot that, so.
Is that why you didn't drink for a long time, CP3? You can't remember if you had like lost kids out there or something like that?
told you. The only other time I had Bacardi, I woke up in a pull-out bed with a big girl on New Year's Day.
Goodbye.
Yeah, so
Are you serious?
I don't condone that type of behavior.
Sounds like you had an amazing New Year's.
See,
I don't recall
Why you always
anything.
here encouraging this?
This is
Wait,
wholesome
That is
American.
not wholesome.
What?
It was
Nothing
Bacardi
wrong with
Lemon
making
and
up
Bacardi
Wholesome.
151.
Not wholesome. Wholesome. Okay.
Nothing
just
wrong
saying.
with
I'm
that
just
one
saying.
pull out bed.
Yeah, I go to my cousin's
There's
house.
not wrong with that. He don't even know how that happened.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a problem.
Wow.
Let's have a real question now.
That was some real shit.
Y'all
You got a
mind
house,
if I ask
you don't know before everybody wake up?
I know I came in late and I brought the rain and I made the next news.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask a question. It's something we kind of talked about yesterday. About like being an artist and being in a committed relationship and now being married. Because I know like the artist life is very demanding. And it's hard to find people who understand that and are able to deal and cope with the demand of what you have to do and who you have to be. Especially like someone like you who, at the top of your game, like on stage or when you're performing and things like that, there's other side of you and things of that nature. So, being able to find somebody like you who's also a musician, so he has that understanding, like how helpful is that in the process, and just how dope is it to have somebody that kind of understands and rocks with you through all the stuff that you're going through.
Oh yeah, it's really dope because I don't feel the need to like have to explain to him. Because for one, he met me in that element, like that's really how we met. With him coming to a rehearsal, so I didn't feel like I had to explain, like, hey, as an artist, I'm getting on stage, I'm gonna be crazy, but this is just like I have to do this because this is me, really. But it was never any type of like pullback. So I think it's pretty cool, especially having somebody that understands. Like, okay, and he actually get a kick out of that. Like, if she goes, like Melissa V Neal, huh? He's like, because he was just like, I love to see when you really in your element. And it's just the same way when he's performing and I'm going to see shows. So that was pretty cool. And because I had experiences with not like having a spouse that didn't really know about entertainment. And it was like, it started to be jealousy because it was like, you out, all these niggas in your face. And I'm like, I gotta say hi. Like,
Right.
I have to speak. I have to be cool. Like, so it's hard if you're in a situation when you have to fight about your artistry. And that's one thing I haven't had to do with him because he just like, go ahead, go ahead. And also, I'm not the type of artist either, Dave, that do like things that I get on stage and I don't do something wow, and I'm like black dancing to do either.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't take it to that extreme.
That's all you
She
heard.
said she don't.
Oh no, I
Because
don't.
we know some artists who
Yeah, they do. And
right, Tiana
yeah,
Taylor
and they
does
do,
it.
and I love her. And they do, but for him it would have been weird because that's something I didn't do before I was in the relationship.
Right,
So it's
right.
like, why you wait
And
till have
put
3
it
kids
down.
and then be like, do you mind? What's
Uh-huh.
going on? Why are you twerking on the men now? So I didn't really change anything. And so just being me was really, 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 really dope. And then I did tell Dave yesterday that at first when D would be like super busy when I first was having a kid, I was like, what the hell? 'Cause I was like, I ain't know, man. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be supportive and I'm here, I'm gonna cook, clean, all that, but I'm like, what's going on? Like, what you mean you got 2 more kids? I'm like, I'm in the house with the kids. So I was like, it's like 12 o'clock. I'm still with the kids. And we sat down one day and I said, if you're doing this for the money, like if you're doing this because you want to make all this extra money, because he has to stay up. Like he wanted people like, I can't see it down. I'm like, I gotta be up. But he explained as a man, like at the end of the day, if you coming at me for something. So, but I was kind of like, okay, money ain't everything.
Right.
But then I said, let me ask you a question. Are you doing this because this is what you have to do, like this is what you love? And once he said yes, that was it.
Right.
That was the end of me ever asking. I was just kind of like, just let me know what's good. If you gonna be home at 1 or whatever, coming from the gig, cool. So I don't bother him. I don't call him a million times when he's doing his stuff. I just be like, do your thing. But once he said that, it changed. But when I thought it was for money, I was like, no. You can't really get money. Like you can't exchange. We do that all the time. We go to our 9 to 5s and you giving up time to pay your bills. But I was like, don't do that for your time you're supposed to have with your family, your friends and stuff.
Right.
So, to your question, Dave, it definitely is refreshing. I only had 2 exes, but I only had one that wasn't in music, and he started off supportive, but then at a certain point he wanted to fight the whole band. Everybody, I was like, and the band members was like, they were scared of me, and it also made me shrink on stage because I would start feeling like, I don't want to do this, and then that offends them, yeah, that's gonna set them off, and people would see it, and they would be like, this is not. So he plays the background too, and I feel like in a relationship you have to have that balance.
Right.
So it's a joke out because his brother, his Marcus, but his stage name is D'Amico Star, his real brother. So that's my brother-in-law, and we always make a joke, because my youngest son acts just like Marcus. So they used to always play around, be like, that's my godson, be like, and then they'd be like, man, that Marcus child, and the joke would be, hell no. I said, you're not my type, So at first he would be like, what that mean? And I said, I mean, the way we are in a relationship, that would have been a mess. You got 2 stars, 2 front people, too much. And sometimes with them type of relationships, I've seen that it don't work if you got 2 artists. But for me, it's like, I'm the artist that's out here. He's the artist, but he's cool with being like, okay, yeah. He's not like yesterday when we were filming. He wasn't like every shot. Now if the shoe was on the other foot, I don't know. I'll be a mess with
You
her.
would jump right in.
I'm right in a mess.
One I want to shout D out because it's very rare that you find a person that supports. I mean, because in CP3, you know this, you've had people tell you they can't even watch the show because they can't differentiate. They don't know the difference between your real personality and then you as a character.
Real talk. In his situation, I feel like it's a little different because he's out of control.
Sometimes he is out of control. But
I'm just saying, like, she's not doing nothing
I mean, I couldn't even get
extra.
5 seconds.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't even get 5 seconds.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
You jump on that real quick.
bad.
Even I go through, I couldn't even get 5 seconds. I see it from his point of view.
But I think it's really to have that person support you. Like it's always, especially when it's just a significant other, it's a good feeling. Like, I remember I had a girl I knew this shit wasn't gonna work. So I was going to the studio and she called me one day and she was like, "Damn, why your friends always over and why y'all always recording and why y'all going?" That was our last conversation. I was like, okay, cool. Never called her again after that because that's my life. This is my passion. And when you're doing something that's your passion, like, this is what makes me happy. Why would I stop something that's so that doesn't?
See what I go through?
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help.
Like I'm the devil.
Well,
I'm not the devil.
I didn't say you were the devil. I just said the same.
I should really put the camera on y'all because your eyes are telling a totally different story.
I'm just
saying.
You know what I'm going through over here with my computer and these technical support people right now.
I'm sorry. That's why I'm giving you safe.
But I really did want to shout out D for that though because like I said that right there is important and you don't see a lot of men do that. Right. And he was very supportive and he's like, yo, that's salute because that's being a real man. You know. He didn't even try to diddy the shot. He didn't even try to be all up in the videos, dancing, doing his 2-step or nothing like that. He could have gave it a head nod, like, yo, put me in the video. I would have,
Like I'm right here. I just thought about something. We did have some issues, okay, and this was out there now, but because it's gonna be out there anyway on the album. But we did have some issues. Look at these, like, what's she about to say? No. Well, what we had the issue was I had to tell him. I said, listen, don't let anybody, your friends, your family, nobody dictate what I'm doing because I've always been this way, my artist side. I said, so reassure them I'm good, okay? Right. I'm not doing nothing crazy, but this is me, my other side. But it doesn't take away the fact that I'm still going to be good with the kids. I'm still going to do what I need to do. That doesn't take away from me being a mother or a wife. But know that this is also me. So he did deal with that a little bit last year. We dealt with it. And I was like, in my model thing, I was getting it. I was like, cheeks was out. I was like, yes. So I was
and I checked it.
He did. And, he did check it. But it didn't come with. The first day was like he was mad at me because he felt like, hey, I heard you put this on your door. You was walking because my best friend had recorded me walking, and I was from the back too. And I was pressed to see because I was like, look at the little shit stick moving a little bit. Okay, I was pressed because I was like, oh, okay, because it actually took me a while to be happy with my like post baby body and all that was going. So I was just like feeling good about myself. And it's like, next thing you know, I show him like, yeah, the show went good or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I heard you had the cheeks out. Facebook. I was like, cheeks out. I was like, a mother's kid. That was the boy.
I feel like I'm telling you, you get like.
They spoke yesterday. Women always make it worse. No, I get
when they imitate the man,
yeah, I get told that. I get told that. You with me, right? Don't worry, I get with you.
In my defense, my only issue was I got the information from somebody else first. And she thought she sent me everything up front. And then when they started to hit me, I went on her page and I said, y'all know I'm the husband. Just to let everybody know, anything that comes out on here, she's ran it by me. I'm okay with it. Right. If I'm okay with it, that's all that matters. If she wants to put it out and I'm okay with it, nobody else's opinion matters. Right. I know. Don't hit my phone. Right. And we left it at that.
Yeah, so that was the one time that I was like, oh no.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't got back into this and like, no. And then I also felt like, now you're not going to control my music side. Like, if this person's okay with it. So the project I'm doing now, I did have to take some photos. They're hot though, and they were like, because I was pretty much trying to show my vulnerable side, my vulnerability. So I told them, I said, I'm letting you know, the songs and the stuff that's coming out. This is the stuff, So the first couple of glances, D was like, and I said, I just want you to see this. So I think for artists out there that's in relationships, it's just good to have real communication. Be 100, and then see, like Raheem said, he knew the girl wasn't gonna work with him. That ain't gonna work. So you have to know off the bat. Look, this is what I'm doing. Are you cool with it?
Right.
As I feel like the sneak stuff is what gets people pissed. And they be
Yeah.
like, why did you go on record and you did this song and you did that? So I was just kind of like, like I already know Warm Mama, because I told you how my mama is. She's pretty happy about anything so far, but she ain't seen, anything so far. So I already Warm Mama, I said the first thing got a little one curse word in there, So of course she was like, why? Why you have I said, Mom, the rage that I'm going to have to bring to the project for some of the songs, it's going to be raw. I was like, and that's really me, Because I keep her out of everything. Any relationship problems I had, she just be like, I'm going to pray about it. Please just pray for me, and that's it. So that's the other thing, Dave, for those listening. Keep about your dang own business. Like, as far as, your artist business, because if I told her, King, he ain't. Just saying, I'm pissed one day. What if he was a messy person and then go tell me? It's like you mess up just for one day. And then he might have would have looked at me like, I know you would have had your own opinion, but if it was somebody else, you might have always looked at him as like, oh, he was that guy that did this. Yeah. So that's something else that I could give as advice. Just when you're doing your music stuff, leave people out of it. Like, okay, cool. So we haven't had too many. He has the times where I'm stage male and he's playing the drums, and we established that from the beginning. This business, and when we business. Like so, So only one time he was like he showed up. He was tired that day. He was showing up. He was like, I was like, hey, we on set. But of course, as soon as this thing started, he was ready. So I think it's amazing. It's amazing.
You got a question?
I thought you was next, but I do have another question.
I was about to ask you, do y'all want to get a song?
Yeah, let's hit a song, then I ask you.
Okay.
I think CP3 up and running, so he about to be in the
Oh, sugar now.
Working.
See, CP3, you gotta find a woman that loves CP3.
Wow.
I'm single. I know I'm a hard motherfucker to get along with. That's
CP3, what's your zodiac? I gotta know.
You can't tell?
Scorpio.
I was talking about that at my job. I don't like the only thing I know I'm a Leo, but I don't really know too much about. So that thing I said
I know about.
Well, no, I don't know too much about the whole zodiac thing.
Okay.
Yeah, like I don't really like follow it, but I do recognize that everything they say about Leos. I'll be like, that's what I do. That's exactly right.
Yeah, y'all got that king of the jungle thing.
Well, for a long time I didn't really believe in zodiac, but then I realized like I'm a Gemini, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, it's not accurate. It was like, yeah, he switches on, off and on, go 0 to 100. Like when you piss him off, this. I was like, oh yeah, that shit's about accurate. And I was like, and I was sober when I did that shit.
When these cameras hot, I'm gonna let you know something.
Hi, you reached Melissa. Leave your name, your number after the beep. Alright.
I told you that I got you and I told you that I love you, but I'm knowing that you tired of hearing the same thing. Supposed to be as in a whip, switching the same lanes, and I'm knowing that it's hard, but baby, just don't change. I don't wanna break your heart or contribute no more pain, cause without you like a dog, I be going so insane. I don't wanna break this bond, we link just like chains, and I know that shit get hard, but baby, it's gon' rain.
You said I don't have to worry. You said that nigga ain't me. You know he shattered my heart, but you said you pick up the pieces. Promise after promises. You gon' do that and you do this. All I get is your excuses. So damn tired of your excuses. Now I'm starting to feel like being with you is such a mistake. And every time I call it quits, calling my phone begging me to stay. And like a fool, I take you back, cause I'm a fool for love and you count on that. And here we go, around again, on love's go round again. You say you treat me much better. Say we'll be in love forever. You break my heart, you say never. You say I'm sorry, whatever. You say you treat me much better. Say we'll be in love forever. You break my heart, you say never. You say I'm sorry, whatever. I didn't start loving me more than supposed to start loving myself. I won't even trip all these niggas. The hurt from my past got me tripping, so I'm borderline insecure. I think that's why I take your bullshit, but I'm not taking your shit no more. And now I'm starting to feel like being with you is such a mistake. And every time I call it quits, calling my phone begging me to stay. And like a fool, I take you back, cause I'm a fool for love and you count on that. And here we go, around again, on love's go round again. You say you treat me much better, say we'll be in love forever. You break my heart, you say never. You say I'm sorry, whatever. You say you treat me much better, say we'll be in love forever. You break my heart, you say never. You say I'm sorry, whatever. You say you could be, you would be better. You say you could be, you would be better. You say you treat me much better, say we be in love forever. You break my heart, you say never. You say I'm sorry, whatever. You say you treat me much better, say we be in love forever. You break my heart, you say never. You say I'm sorry, whatever. You say you treat me much better, say we be in love forever. You break my heart, you say never. You say I'm sorry, whatever. You say you treat me much better, say we be in love forever. You break my heart, you say never. You say I'm sorry, whatever.
Like doing a little test thing to see.
Okay, we're back. We got secret footage of Super Dave eating a glizzy.
Oh man! Hold on, it's so funny because when you said that, I looked
That's why I was over there like, you
He's trying to hide while eating glizzy. Oh no!
We got special shots, and we just hit my IG up. The pictures will be up later.
That is too funny. Oh man, I'm sorry.
like,
Yeah, he had the glizzy in his mouth.
wait a minute, hold on, slow down.
You know, I'm a terrible friend. I ain't
It's
gonna
getting
lie.
weird now.
I'm a terrible friend, you know.
I'm so sorry.
I'm one of the friends, like, if you fall in front of, I'm gonna remind you every day, even at your wedding day. You remember that time you fell?
I want to give a toast.
Real life, so I'm gonna tell the funny thing. I was best man at Chef Rock's wedding, right?
Uh-huh.
So his sisters-in-law, there was two of us, so they got a smart mouth. You already know the story's going down here. So the other guy was like, he took the abuse. So when I came and they said something smart, he just looked, he was like, this is about to be funny. So I fried him, like just off the break. And then when I told him, I said, we can do this back and forth. I can guarantee you're going to lose. And I was like, because I'm the type of person that I'm going to run the joke into the ground. Like, I'll come to your wedding and insult you. And I'll remind you of this moment. So if you trip, fall, do something stupid, or I embarrass you, I will just come out and just run it in. And they were like, oh. And after about 10 minutes of me frying them, when they saw me again, hey! Like, yeah, you will not verbally abuse me. I verbally abuse too many other people.
Oh my gosh.
At the wedding?
You heard him. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, funeral.
You know what one of my favorite episodes of the Boondocks is basically when Granddad had to do all that stuff, and the dude was like, your gift is, and he was dead. He was like, these nuts, and gave him a jar of nuts.
Oh my God.
I was like, I can understand that level of pettiness. Because, and once upon a time, and maybe still is, I have that level of pettiness. Anyway. Let's talk about the song. We can't understand you when you got a glizzy in your mouth. You speaking glizzy.
That would have been funny if you wasn't talking about me.
Dave, my man.
Sorry,
Dave ain't know at our age, man. You gotta make sliders. Turn it a certain way.
I was breaking up a little bit. I can't even.
when you first grabbed it, you wasn't. Yeah, but you know, but today, you know, we're not friends today. We're gonna turn this down.
You know, you know what's even thing? I gotta show. I gotta. You have some great restraint because you ain't said nothing. You ain't. I know you want to laugh, but
He's been busy.
I know.
Trying to get back up and running, baby.
That's the
I
only
think I
reason.
might
That's the
finally
only
be
reason.
back up and running.
But so let's talk about the song. It's called Better, and this is what I like the emotion of the song. It was very visual to me. That's why I said song choice. I you know, and the stuff we worked on yesterday. I th- we're gonna make we're gonna put the visuals to the song and make it come to life.
Yeah.
I feel like we're not just shooting a video; we're basically shooting a mini movie,
Right.
and that's the goal.
And that's what you should be doing.
But you know, I like the song, and what is your thoughts?
I like it's a vibe. So I like the song. It gives you a certain vibe. Certain songs you be like, all right, it's cool, but there are other songs you can ride out to. You know? Like,
Yes.
I don't want to take CP3's um, scenario, but I can see me playing it in the car, you know, riding out to that.
Okay.
I mean, you say that sometimes, but I'm not going to be smoking or anything like that. But you say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice chill vibe. You might put something in there. You know, might
Why you always gotta put something in there?
Because that lets you know that it's a nice chill vibe. It's a nice song that you can, you know, ride out to.
How many females have told you those words?
You know what?
I'm surprised you ain't be like. I'm surprised you like. You know what? A female told me that one day. I could do better.
I've heard a lot of different things from a lot of different people.
I bet you have.
I can see that.
I'm surprised this song didn't trigger you into one of your rants.
Yes.
I'm like I said, trying to multitask, but now my only feed is not up to my YouTube feed. I don't know what the fuck.
But they ain't tell you that they can do better.
I can say that. But like I told you, I had like 4 ex-girlfriends, and when we broke up, they all left the state and moved to North Carolina for some reason. I don't know
Because
why.
they could do better. That's what they thought.
Oh,
That's what they
4
thought.
out of 4.
See?
That's all I have to say about it. What shit? How you know better than this?
But CP3, the song was more so about, it was more about the person connecting and saying, you promised me this and gave me that, versus being like, you know, so it wasn't really, it wasn't really like a class of, I'm like going on the guy. I'm also, to me, and that's what I loved about connecting with Raheem, because he seen what I was trying to, like, we just seen it. Because I be in my head. So in my head, I'm like putting this stuff together, like, okay, this is going this way, but you said this, or you said that. So I'm not really the type of person that when I'm in a relationship, I'm like, you ain't this, you ain't. Right. I'm also like, but this is what you promised. So it's more so like the person is in a relationship, and they're in a weird space of not knowing what's what. Like, should I do this? Should I do that? But the Migo Star is getting me out of that shell, because there's so many things that I'm wanting to talk about, and I'll hear a song and be like, yes, you know. But me doing it, I'm like, no, I ain't gonna get that gritty. But then I understood, like, no, you gotta be 100. You know, doing your art, you gotta be 100. And I actually, this is probably the first time anybody heard this, and I guess the Migo Star noticed this. But when we first was doing the song, I hated the song. Really? Yes, because I'm a performer. I like to sing, like. So
this is a chill.
And this is chill. I'm not used to like doing like, you know, going in the studio, singing this verse, go back, chop this, come. This is a lot going on, you know. And he was like, so the first section, he was like, you getting worn out. And I talked to Dave, and Dave was like, well, for one, when you go in the studio, you need to have your candy, like your water. Yeah. You got to be prepared. I was like tired. I was tired after like 2, 3. He's like, doing over. I was like, again? You know? But I was learning, so that's why I was telling CP3 earlier when he was talking about rap. Like, it's just pretty much learning that aspect of even figuring out, like, exactly how to put everything together. Yeah. So it's like a soft opening to the project because it's a lot that I'm going to cover and talk about. And I wanted something like you said, like something you could vibe to. You drive and you kind of, because I knew that I would have other songs to touch on some other things. So I wanted to pretty much give different listeners something else to view of me. But he got it, and they, as soon as I was telling them, they were like, "We get it. You must go to parks." And, like it was funny when he took me to the spots. I was like, "This is like heaven for me." Like I'm gonna just tell D, I'm just coming up here on the weekend to do my walks, and I go on these like walks. I call them forest walks, but really it's like Southeast DC. But it works. Well, I'm going to that part. The jungle walk. The jungle walk. Where I find the little green grasses over there. And I'm doing my walks, but I'm looking for somewhere that's nice. And when he went, it was crazy because that was the first day I met him.
Okay.
And he was like, I'm thinking, because I met him on Zoom, but to me that's not really meeting the person.
Right.
And he got me from the Zoom. And when we went, he was like this right here, and he's looking around like, okay. And I said to him, I said, what's your zodiac? I believe it for certain people. He said, I'm a Gemini. I was like, yeah, you're a genius. I was like, because you've seen it without me having to really go into how I am. So, how he said it's a mini movie. I like to create things like that. And the crazy thing is, my whole life, when I listen to a song, I put the video together. My whole life, like what I would have done in the video. So it was great to see them seeing my story. And as soon as I say, hey, I want to do this. So we got something real cool we're going to do with it. Not going to tell y'all yet. I'll tell y'all after we don't here. But it's going to be real cool, some of the stuff that I actually experienced in real life. And they're going to bring it to it. Because I feel like we live in a fast-paced world where the albums are like fast, everything is like this song you like it today, you did. So I wanted to put a vision for the photo and a visual with each one. Like literally, this is what was happening. So I know we're gonna be able to do it with this team and a few other people we have.
Well, I would say this about Melissa. Once she came prepared. Two, I appreciate people's patience because the way my mind works is we'll be shooting one scene and my mind is thinking about the next two scenes. And it may not be even in the spot that I originally went to. So I'll go, let's shoot here. And then while we're shooting here, I'm looking as I'm shooting. Oh, I want to shoot there.
Crazy Gemini.
My mind, and we did this scene at we did this really good scene. I ain't gonna say. I'll tell you off air where it's at. But it came about because I was doing crazy stuff with my nieces and nephews, and I was taking pictures. And I walked, and it wasn't even. I was like, no, just sit here. And I was like, click, 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 and then in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I want to use this.
Right.
As we're doing the stuff, I'm like, well, boom. I happen to look at my phone, and I'm like, that triggers it. So let me go back to the scene, this place where I haven't even told them about. Let's do it right here, and then we got some really good shots right there.
Right.
Because my mind is thinking like 2 or 3 steps ahead all the time.
Okay.
And even last night, by the time we got in, I probably had 4 hours of sleep. I ain't gonna lie. I was up at 4. So I had to be to work at 5. Because my mind was so creative that it doesn't really wind down.
Right.
So
that's what happened to me yesterday. Like if I'm hyped or something, I'll be like still in the ground, And it's so funny because D, he can go perform and cut it off. Like get home and be like, that's it. Let me get some ice cream. I'm laying back. I'm home and watching Power.
I wish I could do that.
And I'm the opposite.
I'm jealous.
I'm like that, literally. Like I'm on a treadmill, like one, like I can see this, like dancing and stuff.
I sent her a text one morning. It's about 1:35. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna need you to move your ass in the bed.
I don't even know what song. So that's why one of my goals is my dream home. I need that, and I told Dave and them this because I was like, I need that music space while I'm gone with the wind. Because once we start, like that middle child, the cancer I told you about, he's crazy just like me. So when we both like dancing, going, and like he's up. But when that happened, it puts me in the mind of like being excited. So I'm just like, I'm going like, oh, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this, you know. And I'll be laying down and I'm still wound up. So it's so funny because we're the opposite, you know. But she'd be like, hey, you know you got to go to work? I was like, what? He was like, yeah, you still got to go to work tomorrow. But in my head at that moment, I'm like, what's work? You know, I don't work there no more.
Right, who cares?
Who cares? Right. Looking simple at 4 or 5 o'clock, looking crazy.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm waking up in the morning, getting up, doing my little workout, and I'm set back into reality, like, hello, you know. So I'm with him on that. I definitely be in my head somewhere.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's the crazy thing. Like, I really wish I could like turn it off because, like, when I took pictures of my nieces and nephews, like by like 8 o'clock, my 8 o'clock the next morning, I had edited all the pictures and I'm sending them to my sister as I'm walking to work while I'm at work. And she's like, "Well, when did you do it? When did you edit?" I was like, "When I went home."
Yeah, at night, last night.
And like, and we always talk about it. You know, God bless GOP, rest in peace, rest in power, GOP. But like, when we used to do our show, we were on to 3:30 in the morning. But then we were still. He would go home and I'd go home, but we'd be talking on the phone till 5 about the show and all this other stuff. And because, you know, he was just like, I can tell you like me. Because he was a Gemini too. He was like, when you create, you can't sleep.
Yeah.
And it was true. You just really can't sleep. Creative people, it's hard to turn it off.
You're wired.
Yeah, because you wired.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the word. You wired. You like ready. You like, yeah. So that's why I'm going to say it here. He going to hear it one day. We're going to meet up. That other genius Gemini, I always told Joaquin, I love Kanye West. No matter what the read or anything. I'm like, because his actual artistry, I like when I see people just do something and they create something different, like, you know, and they
his personal life is a whole other conversation.
But you know what? I feel like, and I could be wrong because I don't really know him, but I feel like artists, most of us are cuckoo. We cuckoo.
Yeah.
You know, so unless we have a balance or no, we might, like how he said he made his head, we might mistake reality from this. So like them actors, their spouses go through a lot if they can't cut it off. Like, you know, so it shows that.
I mean,
that's why I asked that question too about that balance. Because it's like you need that balance. Like I've lived that, like working on something creative and got to do work at 6 in the morning. I'm just looking at the clock like, all right, it's 2. I can still get
you calculating how
and then look at the clock again, it's 3, and I like, but I gotta finish. You know, but to have somebody that balance you and that, you know, is that person that's in your head like, okay, you're doing it, but look, you still gotta do this. You know,
right. If anything, my job deals with that the most. But my direct boss is an artist too. She crazy as could be, but when I come in, if I'm coming off and doing something, she be like, "This is gonna be a morning," because you know it's gonna take me 2 hours to get back in like work mode. So like when I came from the glitter hair, when I had the big, I'm gonna show you. I had like this thing on my head and stuff. And it was a hair shoot. And I came to work, I still had the glitter ink. I was still there. Like, what are you talking about? And I got there and they was like, well, look at your hair. I was like, yeah, you know. So they was like, Mel is, but they know. So they was like, Mel is like, yeah, she is on that all this stuff today because she walking around like jolly, whatever. When I tell you, I missed like 2 or 3 things that was going on with some patients. So she's like, Mel. I was like, what? She was like, the 10:15. Did you see him like 15 minutes ago? I was like, she was like, when you come off lunch, we back here at house. I was like, okay, all right, but she gets it, you know. But for me, this is not off the record, but normally what would happen when I would come from a show, I would just take the show to the house. Oh, Lord. So that's why he laughed yesterday, Dave, because I came out the room, and then Dave was like, he was like, oh my God, she really came out like a 2-year-old because I had the little boots on and everything. Oh, Lord. Girl, and so, but really, I'm taking that into my look because some of the stuff that I have, Shalonda Covert, that's the one that made a really tight outfit for the hair shoot. That's going to be making some of the stuff. Like, I had the vision of what I want, you know, to look like, how I want it to look, and everything. So, it's probably going to look like, you know, I'm a little music hero, maybe, I guess. But fine. Right, but see how you just said that it took me time to be okay with that. Because at first I was my hardest thing was coming into music was one, getting used to singing secular music and being okay, and going to church, back to church on Sunday, and everybody like,
Right.
you've been clubbing all weekend, you know, and getting used to that. And then two was getting used to like the look, like being okay. And then three, it took a long time for me to be okay with what I really wanted to do, like what I really saying, what I really wanted to do, and had the right people to be like, yeah, we see it for you, and not be like, well, no, we hear you, but we want you to do this. Yeah. And it's like you pushing against, you know. So that was probably my hardest thing of thinking of maybe the person not gonna like it, you know. So right now with the song better with that D'Amico song produced, that's like hitting that one aspect, you know, and then I'm gonna have to have the other person that brings the other side out and be able to show that. So I wanted to showcase as many things about myself that I could, right, and connect, because really when I listen to music, if it's a good song, I'm gonna like it, and it is like I told you, yeah, I like that. You know, you can't tell me I'm not a thug when I'm listening to it, because they be like, there you go listening to this or that, or you know, this stuff, and I love it. I love it, and then but what? Yeah, that's what I'm about to say too.
And they think it's her. Like she was giving her head back.